want to get started RVing, but you have all of these questions and what ifs. Really? Just excuses? Don't you worry. In this video, I'm breaking down the real reason that you're not full-time RVing yet. So by the end of this video, you're going to stop making excuses and get started RV living. Let's dive into how do we eliminate these barriers to freedom and what are they? The first reason that you're probably not RV living yet, at least full-time anyways, is what I like to call your barriers to freedom of fear. My biggest obstacle or barrier to freedom was my fear of the unknown, as well as my boyfriend. You're probably fearing the unknown, maybe trying something new. I'm sure you have a bunch of what ifs, and if you're like me, you were really worried about what happens if you break down. What do you do? The best way to eliminate that barrier to freedom in your head and not have an excuse of just fear is, one, to educate yourself, but to think about FOMO, but the opposite way. So most people think fear of missing out. I would think of MO. Okay, just MO, missing out. So if you keep fearing, there's not going to be a fear of missing out. You're just going to be missing out. Another reason that you might not be full-time RV living yet could be your finances. Maybe there's some financial commitments that you have, such as debt or bills. Maybe you have a mortgage or a lease that you have to worry about. Maybe you're afraid that you just can't afford RV life. So how do we eliminate your fear of financial freedom or your financial commitments? Let me ask you a few questions. First, what's the difference in having debt and paying off bills, whether you're moving or living stationary, or in a home versus a condo versus an apartment? And two, why would you mortgage your home but you won't finance an RV? Why are you worried about paying for an RV or not looking into financing an RV versus you will mortgage your home? And why does everything need to be paid off before you can RV? Honestly, whether you're staying stationary in a home or moving in an RV or even stationary in an RV, there's not a difference in having debt here versus debt there. You want to plan and budget for now and later. So I budget every month. I have a spreadsheet and I keep all my expenses listed, and I have what's called runway money. So I plan out 6 months to a year, and I always have the finances in my account to be able to afford to live if I just had to pay minimum payments and my bare necessities and not like pay off debt. If I just had to pay the minimum and just keep myself afloat, I can survive for the next 6 months to a year at any point in time. And I'm always reevaluating that every single month. And I look at my finances. I really only look at them once a month, and I monitor that. So I know what my expenses are now and what they're going to be later, and I already kind of have that figured out, and I've accounted for that in my bank account. And I always tell people, look at your bank statement, look at the money you spend, and that will tell you your passions. So are you spending money on food and cars and gas, or Netflix and other random subscriptions? Maybe some things that you could cancel to get ready for RV life. Another reason that you might not be full-time RV living yet could be your relationship commitment. So this could be that you have a spouse that maybe can't or doesn't want to RV, or maybe you don't have a spouse and you say, well, I don't want to do it solo, or I'll do it when I get a spouse. Maybe it has to do with family, kids, you want a community, your friends. All of these things have to do with your relationship barriers to freedom. How do we eliminate the relationship fears and excuses and reasons for not full-time RV living yet? If you're worried about having to go RV solo or alone because you don't have a spouse, I just want to put this in just perspective with you. If you are RVing with your spouse, you're with them 24/7. So RVing alone is actually probably more rewarding than RVing with your spouse. And I know this is going to sound morbid, but if you were to RV with your spouse, or you finally found someone to RV with you, and then God forbid they passed away, would you just stop RVing? You can't just wait on someone else to come along to go RVing with you. Maybe you have a friend or someone that can go RV with you. Maybe it doesn't have to be a spouse. That's one option. Now, if you have a spouse and your spouse doesn't want to go RVing, or they're not excited about it, then you can watch this video here that I made about 5 ways that you can convince your spouse to go RVing with you. Another reason that people will say that they don't want to go RVing has to do with the kids. So to eliminate eliminate that barrier, you need to think in real life experiences are way more valuable on the road than they are in a classroom. Reading it in a book. Can you imagine making the book come to life in real life, that you can actually visit that town and say, here's this place, and they can visually touch and see and feel something versus just reading it in a book? Another reason that you might not be full-time RV living yet could be that you have an over-reliance on material possessions. Maybe you're having a hard time parting with your things and your stuff, or getting organized, downsizing. I'm going to tell you the best way to eliminate that is honestly simplicity and organization. When I clear things out and get rid of things, you're making time and space for new experiences and adventures. So when you're in an RV, you're really limited on space and size anyways. It's not really fun to lug stuff around. It actually costs more money. But I did talk a lot about downsizing in this video, and some ways that you can downsize and actually make money in the process to fund your RV life. That actually took me probably a year to sell everything I owned. My boyfriend always joked that it was a lifestyle for sale at the time, because it really was. But now that I've gotten rid of all of those things, I actually have to refuse gifts from people when they give me things. I'm like, please no, don't give me that, or I donate things. I'm constantly cleansing and re-clearing out my life. I'm very minimalist. So if you notice, I don't wear makeup. I really only kind of need my computer and a notepad and my phone to operate my business and run my life. Another reason that you might not be full-time RV living yet is because you're worried about other people's approval or their prejudice towards your lifestyle. The best way to eliminate this is just to know that they're jealous of you. Honestly, these people want to be doing what you're doing. They're going to see you out there taking your pictures and sharing your videos, and they want to have that life. They want to be able to just pick up and go and work from the road and be a digital nomad and really get out there and have this full-time life of freedom on the open road, whatever lifestyle or budget they choose. People are going to be jealous of this nomadic journey that you're on, and they only get to go to the beach like for a week here and there. You could probably live at the beach for a month. Don't let them hate. The flip side to eliminate that is to think, if it's your family or someone that really loves you, they might just be trying to protect you. So it's not that they're prejudiced or really that you need their approval. It's more of that you just feel that you need their approval or some type of guilt. And a lot of times they're just trying to protect you whenever you feel that, or they say things that are maybe not in line with what you thought that they should do, or they're not as supportive as you think that they should be. So whenever I decided to quit my job and dive into entrepreneurship and being a digital nomad, and then into this RV life or unknown and sell my condo, my mom is always supportive. My dad, however, was the type person that I actually lied to him for the longest time about that I got fired from my job. I told him they laid me off or something. I was not about to tell him that I quit my job and I'm gonna like flip stuff at Goodwill and buy an RV and I'm doing this entrepreneur thing. He would have flipped out, but eventually I had to tell him because he kept pressuring me. The saying that I live by is that you just do and you ask for permission later, okay? So if you ask for permission up front, people are always going to be saying no or but or what if. So if you just do it, and then if you succeed, then people will be on board. And if you don't, maybe you don't have to tell them. But either way, you didn't have to get their approval or have their prejudice or those feelings beforehand. Another reason that you might not be full-time RV living yet is due to health concerns. Maybe it's you or your spouse or a family member. Maybe you have someone in your family, a loved one that's getting older, or that they really just can't care for themselves anymore. So how do we eliminate our fear or our excuse of not going RVing because of health concerns? When it comes to the death of a loved one, maybe you're worried about your traveling and you're not going to be able to be there if someone were to pass away and you're really far away. I can tell you from experience, think COVID. When COVID hit, no one could be in the emergency rooms with people, usually. I recently just lost my stepfather, and it hurts so much to be sitting here in my RV and know that he's 30 minutes away and I can't even be there with him to watch him pass away. But also, it's this same feeling if you're in an RV. Last year when COVID hit, or right before COVID hit, I was in Las Vegas. My uncle passed away. We got a phone call on a Saturday night. He passed away that Sunday. Within 12 hours, there was no way I was going to get home from 2,000 miles away. So I had to make arrangements. I had to pivot. You can't live your life around fear of losing someone. I ended up catching a flight, flew back to Alabama and went to the funeral, and then I had to catch a flight back to Las Vegas and then drive the RV all the way back home. It was not the most ideal situation, but it just had to be done. I had to learn how to pivot. There's nothing that you can control or really shape your life around for that, okay? And you might not be here tomorrow, so that's another reason that you don't want to fear these health reasons for being on the road. And if it has to do with health insurance, they have health insurance that you can get nationwide coverage for, and special RV insurance, and some people like go to Mexico for treatments and other things. So there are ways that we all live in this non-normal / our new normal life that you can adjust to. If you do wait, you might yourself or your spouse be too tired or too unhealthy at that point in your life if you continue to just wait. You know, something might happen even financially that you just can't deal with, and it could do health concerns or something else. You know, the older you get, the more that you have to go see doctors and take prescriptions and whatnot, depending on how you take care of your body and your family genes. So the last and final reason for why you might not be RVing yet full time is your knowledge and skills. You're worried about the fact that you don't know anything about RVing or camping or driving or maintenance. When I started, I didn't know okay? I didn't know anything. I didn't even know that you needed a generator for your trailer to have electricity when you're not at an RV park. I didn't know that you could put water in your fresh water tank. I didn't even know what that was. There's a lot of issues that can come along with RVing, but there are some ways to eliminate that. So when I got started, I watched YouTube videos and I read books and I joined Facebook groups for RVers and then niches for my specific RV, and I learned a lot. But what I also learned is that everybody RVs different and everybody has their own 2 cents. And I don't RV the same way that everybody else RVs. I like things simple, easy, simplistic. Okay, I live a simple life. But I've learned a lot over the last 5 or 6 years, which is why I created RVersity. Is I got tired of having all of these places to go and having all these questions, and after doing this, you know, like I said, for the last 5 or 6 years, RVersity was born. So if you have questions, you want to know how to get into this RV life, this digital nomad lifestyle, book a call with me below this video. I'll drop a link so you can learn more about RVersity and we can chat. So now you know some reasons for why you're not full-time RVing yet, or maybe some excuses that you're making. What is your biggest obstacle or barrier to freedom? Why is it that you are not full-time RV living yet? I want you to comment below this video and let me know what excuse or reason you have. Let me know if any of these resonate with you. I'm Blogging Brandy from RVersity, a university for RVers. If you like this video, hit the like button below. Be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.